Welcome back to another episode of Speak English Podcast. If you're here, it's because you're serious about improving your English, and we're here to help you with that.
That's right, David. Today's episode is all about a big question. Can you really learn English in just 30 days?
You've probably seen those bold promises, fluent in a month, or master English fast. But does it actually work? Or is it just another unrealistic claim?
And most importantly, if you can make real progress in 30 days, what's the best way to do it? That's exactly what we'll break down today.
But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Speak English Podcast so you never miss an episode. We're here to make your English journey easier and more effective.
All right, let's get started by talking about why so many people struggle with English and the biggest mistake that holds them back.
So, before we talk about whether it's possible to learn English in 30 days, let's first understand why most people struggle with the language.
That's a great point. A lot of learners feel stuck because they rely too much on traditional methods, like memorizing endless grammar rules and vocabulary lists.
Exactly. Think about it. How many people have studied English for years in school, but still can't have a natural conversation?
That's because language isn't just about memorization. It's about practice, consistency, and learning in a way that actually makes sense for real-life situations.
And another big mistake? Focusing only on reading and writing, while completely ignoring listening and speaking.
Right? If you want to communicate in English, you have to train your brain to think in English, not just translate everything from your native language.
So, what's the solution? If traditional methods don't work, what does? That's what we'll cover in the next part, starting with the power of immersion.
And don't worry, you don't have to move to an English-speaking country to do it. Let's talk about how you can create an immersive experience right now, wherever you are.
So, if traditional methods aren't the best way to learn English, what actually works? The answer is immersion.
And the good news is, you don't need to live in an English-speaking country to immerse yourself in the language.
That's right. Immersion is all about surrounding yourself with English as much as possible, in a way that feels natural and enjoyable.
Think about how children learn their native language. They don't study grammar first. They listen, absorb, and then start speaking naturally.
And that's exactly what you should be doing, too. Instead of just studying English, you need to live in English.
But how do you do that if you don't have native speakers around? The key is to change your daily habits and make English part of your life.
One simple trick is to switch your phone, social media, and even Netflix to English. The more you expose yourself to the language, the faster you'll improve.
Yes, and instead of just watching with subtitles in your native language, try English subtitles. Or even better, no subtitles at all.
Another powerful method is thinking in English. Throughout the day, describe what you're doing in English, even if it's just in your head.
Exactly. The more you train your brain to process English naturally, the easier speaking will become.
And don't forget listening practice. Podcasts, audiobooks, and even YouTube videos can help you get used to the rhythm and sounds of the language.
And the best part? All of this can be done without adding extra study time to your day. You just replace what you already do with English content.
Immersion transforms the way you learn. But there's still one big problem. Many learners understand English, but struggle to speak it fluently.
That's why in the next part we'll talk about the best way to improve your speaking skills, even if you don't have anyone to practice with.
So now you're surrounding yourself with English. But there's one more step that makes all the difference. Actually speaking the language.
And this is where most learners hesitate. They think they need to be ready before they start speaking, but that's a huge mistake.
Exactly. The truth is, you'll never feel ready if you just keep waiting. The only way to get comfortable speaking is to start as soon as possible.
And no, you don't need a teacher or a language partner to practice. You can start speaking English right now, even if you're alone.
One of the best methods is shadowing. This means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say immediately, copying their pronunciation and intonation.
This helps train your mouth and brain to produce English sounds naturally, without overthinking grammar or vocabulary.
Another great technique is speaking out loud to yourself. Narrate your daily activities, describe what you see, or even talk about your plans for the day.
And if you make mistakes, that's totally fine. What matters is building confidence and making English feel natural.
One common fear is sounding silly or making errors. But remember, mistakes are proof that you're learning.
That's right. The more you practice, the faster you'll improve, and soon you'll realize that speaking English isn't as scary as it seems.
Plus, if you can find a speaking partner, even better. Apps like HelloTalk or Tandem let you practice with native speakers for free.
But even if you don't have a partner, don't let that stop you. The key is to start speaking from day one. No excuses.
So now you're speaking, but how do you keep improving and make sure you don't forget what you've learned?
That's where smart review techniques come in. In the next part, we'll talk about how to retain new words and concepts so you don't lose progress.
Now that you're speaking from day one, the next challenge is making sure you don't forget what you've learned.
Exactly. Many learners memorize words, but then they forget them a few days later. The problem? They're not reviewing effectively.
The best way to remember vocabulary is through spaced repetition. Instead of cramming everything in one day, you review words over time, right before you forget them.
This method trains your brain to move information into long-term memory. And the best part? There are apps like Anki and Quizlet that make this super easy.
Right! You just add new words to your flashcards, and the app will remind you when to review them. The more you practice, the less often you need to review.
But spaced repetition isn't enough. You also need to use the words in real situations. Otherwise, they won't stick.
One trick is to create personal connections. Instead of memorizing apple as just a word, imagine yourself eating a delicious apple and describe it in English.
The more senses and emotions you attach to a word, the stronger the memory. That's why telling stories with new vocabulary is so effective.
Another technique is contextual learning. Instead of learning words in isolation, learn them in full sentences or phrases.
For example, instead of memorizing the word challenge, learn the phrase, "Learning English is a fun challenge." This way you understand how to use it naturally.
And here's a pro tip. When you learn a new word, try using it at least 5 times in different situations on the same day.
That's a game changer. The more you use a word, the deeper it gets stored in your memory, making it almost impossible to forget.
Exactly. But learning new words is just one part of the puzzle. What about speaking fluently, without hesitation or translating in your head?
That's what we'll explore in the next chapter, how to think directly in English and speak smoothly, just like a native.
Now that you know how to remember vocabulary, let's talk about something even more powerful. Thinking in English.
That's right. Many learners translate everything in their heads before speaking, but this slows them down and makes conversations harder.
The key to fluency is to eliminate translation and start thinking directly in English. But how do you do that?
One way is to practice with word association. For example, instead of translating dog to your native language, picture a dog immediately when you hear the word.
Exactly. Another technique is narrating your day in English. You can describe what you're doing in real time, like, I'm making coffee, I'm putting on my shoes.
The more you practice, the faster your brain connects English words to real situations without needing to translate.
And don't worry about making mistakes. Native speakers don't speak perfectly all the time either. The goal is communication, not perfection.
Right. You can also train your brain by thinking in simple English sentences. Instead of translating complex thoughts, break them down into easier phrases.
Like, instead of thinking, I wish I could go to the beach today because the weather is nice, you say, The weather is nice. I want to go to the beach.
This helps you express yourself clearly and naturally without getting stuck searching for words.
And the best part? The more you practice, the faster you think in English. Soon, words will come to you automatically.
But there's still one big challenge left: understanding native speakers when they talk fast. Let's find out how to master that in the next chapter.
Now, let's address one of the biggest challenges for English learners: understanding native speakers when they talk fast.
That's definitely a common struggle, but don't worry, there are ways to make it easier. First, let's talk about exposure. The more you listen, the more familiar the fast speech becomes.
Exactly. Start by watching movies or TV shows in English, but don't focus on subtitles all the time. Try to understand the context first, and then check the subtitles.
Another great tip is listening to podcasts, just like this one. Podcasts are often casual and reflect real-life conversations, so they're perfect for training your ear.
That's true. And a trick I love is replaying short segments. Listen to a few seconds, pause, and try to repeat what you heard. Then, play it again and see if you understood everything.
Absolutely, and don't forget about context. If you don't understand a word, think about the situation. What's happening around that word? It can often help you guess the meaning.
Yes, and this is where shadowing can be incredibly useful. Pick a short clip, listen to it, and try to repeat it exactly as it is. Timing, rhythm, and all.
Shadowing improves your pronunciation, fluency, and helps you get used to fast speech, which will make you feel more confident when listening to native speakers.
Another key thing is to not be afraid of mistakes. It's okay to not catch everything the first time. The more you practice, the better you'll get.
And remember, slow and steady wins the race. Understanding fast speech takes time, but with patience and practice, it will get easier.
That's right. Now, let's wrap things up and talk about how to keep improving your English. Don't forget to check out our next episode, where we'll dive deeper into speaking confidently in English. That's it for today's episode. We hope these tips help you on your journey to fluency. Remember, practice is key, and consistency is what makes all the difference.
Absolutely. And if you found this episode helpful, make sure to subscribe to the Speak English podcast. It's the perfect way to stay on track and keep improving your English every day.
Don't forget to leave us a review and share this episode with a friend who's also working on their English.
And, as always, keep practicing. English fluency is a journey, but you're making great progress. See you next time.
Bye for now, and keep speaking English.